In this video, we're going to be talking more about the Handbook for Social Work Writing, written by Susan Mason and myself, Wendy Zeitlin. This book was published by Routledge in 2024. In this particular video, we're going to cover aspects of Chapter 1, which is about writing for class assignments. So before we get started, I want to go over what the goals of written assignments are. From an educational perspective, it really is to assess one or more aspects of student learning. That can be knowledge, values, skills, or cognitive and affective processes. Therefore, assignments typically ask students to do two things: both inform the reader of something and then react in some way. So in the Handbook for Social Work Writing, we see writing for class assignments as being made up of 7 steps. First, carefully reading the assignment and understanding what the instructor is asking. We'll cover that in a little bit more detail in this video. And then once we know what the assignment's about, we're going to talk about how you manage your time and organizational skills so you can get your assignment completed on time. Then we're going to talk about using scholarship for discovery and to support your ideas, creating a rough draft and using citations, using APA style not just for your in-text citations and references section, but to format your papers, proofreading, and then finally submitting. It's really critical to understand what the instructor is asking for so you don't write some sort of outstanding paper that actually misses the mark. So that's what this video is about. So there are many different types of written assignments that instructors give, and this is a typical assignment that's given in an MSW Generalist Social Work Practice course. So I'll read it out loud and then I'll point out some highlights of it. Think of a time when you asked for help to solve a personal problem. Write how you felt about the experience. What did you learn about yourself during this experience? And then think about one of your clients who asked you for help with a personal problem. Describe it. Now, write how your own experience asking for help may have influenced how you plan to work with this client. Discuss how both experiences relate to what you have learned in class and in your readings about social work practice. And then there are some details on the length of it and when it is due. So notice that this actually has 3 parts, this assignment. It's about your own personal experiences, then it's about a professional experience, and then it's really bringing the two together. You have to relate those personal and professional experiences in that 3rd section. And as well, you need to relate it to both class learning and readings. Perhaps this is very clear to you, but perhaps it isn't. For example, does this mean that you should only include required class readings? Can it including readings from other classes? And you also may want to know, well, how stringent is the instructor on page limits? Is a 3-page paper okay? It says it shouldn't be longer than 5, but what if it goes on to 5 pages and 1 line? How stringent is it? So this may seem like a clear assignment initially, but you might need some clarification. Now, this next type of assignment is very different. This is based on a policy class, and it says identify a social policy you care deeply about, but that may be controversial in some way. Examples might include immigration or drug policy. You're asked to describe the existing policy and why the issue is controversial. You're to use required readings from this class and other peer-reviewed sources to make the argument both for and against the existing policy. When presenting these arguments, be sure to equally represent both points of view. Now, consider your client population and discuss whether the existing policy serves your clients well or is detrimental to them. And then again, it goes into a little bit more detail on how this paper should be submitted. So you should notice that this is a more detailed and requires more research than the previous assignment. So it's going to probably require more outside reading than what you had in the previous assignment, so it may take more time. And while you may have some perspective or some idea about the issue that you want to present, it may take more time and effort to equally represent both sides of this issue. So with this in mind, it'll probably take a bit more effort than the previous assignment. So when we're reading these assignments, it's a good idea to start with writing partners if you have one. Like I said, it's much better to get clarification early on so you use your time effectively. So you may want to take an assignment that you have given to you and read it and then discuss it with your writing partner. You may want to ask your writing partner any questions you may have about the assignment requirements. Maybe they have more clarity than you do, but if they don't, you may want to take those outstanding questions to your instructor. And you might want to start figuring out where you might start looking for the information that you don't currently have to address the requirements. Are there textbooks that you currently have or required readings that are readily available to you? Or do you need to go to the library and start looking? And when I say go to the library, that can obviously mean online as well. And do you know what journals you would go to, what reports you might look into? Get some ideas from your writing partner. And again, if you can't figure any of these out, go to your instructor for clarification. And I hope this video was helpful to you.